I'm talking to you, yeah. Right here. Come closer. I think you're gonna like this. I have in my studio right now the latest drop from Soundcore. And I know a lot of you are big fans of their Liberty 2 Pros and 3 Pros, and you've been probably wondering what the next gen looks like. Well, here it is, the Soundcore Liberty 4, or the box for it anyway. I'm gonna jump right in and unbox this thing, pair it up, then run some quick tests and get my first impressions on it. And if you're curious what that's like, let's do it together. You know what I mean. If you're a pretty eagle eye, you probably noticed that from the last scene to this scene, the wrapper has suddenly gone missing. I took it off in my last take and realized that the sound recorder wasn't recording. Yes, I suck at my job, but I didn't open it up yet. I just wanted to let you know what's going on. As I'm looking around at this really nice box, to tell you what, I'm not exactly sure where the Liberty 4 stands in the entire product line, because in the past, if you remember, there was the Liberty 2 and then they upgraded to the 2 Pro. But the last generation, they skipped over the regular Liberty 3 and went directly to the 3 Pro. So I'm curious if this time around, Soundcore decided to drop the Pro designation altogether. Because if that's the case, then we're looking at the top end model here, period. But my gut instinct says it's not, and there's gonna be another iteration. It might be called the Pro or something else completely different. The packaging is very typical of Reason Soundcore's magnetic clasp right here. And if you see this little this little slot right there, or box, that's for their ear tips, and I'm excited to see what kind of options they have. They usually have a pretty nice wide range to fit different ear sizes. But let's pop this open, magnetic of course, and it's looking like this whole thing is recyclable. Very nice. Ooh, nice ripple effect right there. On the side here, you have this little pull tab and you slide out the manual and the charging cables or charging cable. Really nice stuff, and then all the manuals are there. One of the nicest industrial design for packaging, I'll tell you what. And if you're a Soundcore fan, you might notice that, yeah, there's a whole lot less ear tips than I'm used to. Usually there's extra small, extra large. So here's I think confirming my theory. There's going to be a Pro model at some point, because usually they reserve all kinds of selection, everything under the sun for the highest end model. And the fact that I'm seeing so few, this is probably just the regular Liberty 4, and there's going to be a Pro or some kind. But if you're a fan of Soundcore, you probably also noticed that the ear tips look different, right? More translucent and everything. Let me try to pull this in closer. That's because this is a new version. They call these the Cloud Comfort ear tips. We'll find out if they're much more comfortable. Yeah, let's pull these off. If it looks bluish on the camera, that's just because of, I think it's just the color white balance thing, and this is actually black. Let me pop these earbuds in to make sure that they're charging. And let's see how they charge. And then of course they have the slider, the typical Soundcore slider, really nice. And I love the lighting system here. And a second ago I thought I saw an LED light right there. Really nice stuff. So these run $150. My guess that there will be more color options, a white at least, and maybe I'd like to see them bring back the orange and blue ones. And then these have Bluetooth 5.3. So Soundcore has been running with their own SoC, it seems like. So the Reason models have all rocked 5.3 with SBC and AAC, but no aptX. But they do have LDAC. So if you're keen in going into running files, FLAC files, and high res files, these can handle it. And partly this is because also they have a dual driver system. They call it the ACAA, I think, 3.0. It has, I think, a 9mm and a 4mm dual driver system, if I remember correctly. One of the new features added to this Liberty is spatial 360 audio support. That means if you have 360 RA files from Apple or Deezer 360, this is supposed to be able to run it. My personal experience with 360 in general is, I think it's more of a crock. It's hit or miss, mostly miss. I personally prefer binaural stuff, but this, if you have it on your subscription, you can play with it. It has a gyroscope in here that does all the hit tracking and all that. I hope to find some samples. I don't have it on my subscription, but I hope to find some files to test this out. Now, this also has heart rate sensors in here. That means like if you wear this to work out, it can also track that as well. You can't wear this all day, obviously, because of the battery life. And speaking of which, it only lasts 7 hours with ANC on. I say only, but it is actually pretty strong. But I'll have to reserve my full final conclusion once I really test this out. With LDAC on, that's probably going to have it. I don't think there's a gaming mode, but again, we'll pair this up and see if there's a gaming mode. Usually Soundcores don't do that. There is multi-point as well as mono modes. There are 3 mics per side that handles phone calls and as well as noise cancellation. Come on, focus. Dark colors are hard to focus, but the case itself is really nice, guys. Shiny plastics, so it will attract a lot of grease and dirt, but you know, it's easier to clean like this anyway. It's not very deep, the cavities. And since we're here, oh yeah, I really like the slider. This is something that Soundcore has perfected over time. Let's do the shake test. Oh, it stays put. Nice strong magnets right there, and I love the lighting scheme when they charge. Let's take these out, and I really want to see, like, let's see, there is something right here. I wonder if that's a port. Do you see that little slot right there? Little dimple. Is that the touch, or is that a venting port? It's really hard to tell from here. Soundcore logo. The build is nice on both the case and these. Oh, I want to see if this has wireless charging. So the USB-C is at the back here. Let me pull in the wireless pad here and let's have a look. Yes, it is wireless capable. So there you go. Let's look at the earbuds again. I want to see the ear tip. So let me try to focus. Come on, focus. And let's pop this off. So this is oval. Oh my goodness, it looks different, guys. You can see through it. And look at this. I really like the embellishments. The gold, that has some text there. And then probably saying ACAA stuff. And then there's more gold on the inside. It's really, really fancy. And then once you line this up, that's the only downside of having oval ear tips. You can't do it like 90 degrees to it and it will self-align. That will be the day. But if you align it, look at this. It pops on like right away. This is probably the quickest oval ear tip I've ever installed on anything. So just making sure, so I didn't line it up back there. Let's do it one more time, line it up, and it's on. Oh my goodness, that's fast. I'm recording my phone screen right now so you can better see later on how these things pair up and how the app works and all that. And also speaking of the app, Soundcore did say there is one housekeeping item that we have to do. Man, this is warm from sitting on the wireless cord for quite some time. One housekeeping item, when we pair this up with the Soundcore app, we have to first update the firmware. So we're gonna do that. Let's see how fast these things pair up. Let's pop this in my ear. Okay, let's open up Bluetooth. And there we are at the bottom right there. We are pairing. Pair. Okie dokie. And let's see what we got in there. Calls and audio. Now, let me pull up the Soundcore app as well, and then we can go from there. How are you guys doing? Thank you for watching today. I'm gonna add the device and see if we'll do it. Ah, there you go. Soundcore Liberty 4 works without a hitch. Compared to the Q45, A40, this doesn't come in dark mode. It's just all white. I wonder if you can change that. Let me go to settings real quick. I don't see it, but we have the fit test. Just looking out real quick. So before I start, rambling on, let's see if this actually needs a firmware update. Update firmware. It is up to date seemingly, unless I get a notification that says otherwise. And usually, historically, when Soundcore says to do that, they want to make sure that you have high-res LDAC mode, and it does according to the screen right here, but we'll test it later. First of all, I want to test comfort. These, cloud comfort ear tips, medium is my default, so I think we're good to go right off the bat there. Let's make sure that this is sitting correctly. Doesn't feel any different. Right? I mean, let's be honest. I mean, this is just right off the bat. I think longer term, it might feel different. It definitely feels more supple. The plastic feels softer. I was kind of, when I saw the packaging, I thought, hey, is it some kind of comply tip or something, their version? But no, it's just a softer silicone. I'm not sure how well it will gather, ear gunk and all that, because it's transparent. It's gonna be kind of gross if you're not careful. Let me go to normal. Let's see noise cancellation. So right now we're normal. I can hear my head voice down all the way to my throat. That's really nice. Let's go to transparency. Oh wow. I do. Oh well, actually, hold on. Let me. I take that back. It feels very echoey. Oh my goodness. Is it just because of the seal? Okay, I think the seal is so strong. The passive seal of the ear tips is just creating an echo in my head. But then also you have the pass-through sounds coming through. It is very well, it's nice and surround and almost kind of a whole. It sounds pretty whole, not like digitized high treble only. It has bass, but it just accentuates anything that's it's close to you, I guess. But my voice, I had to do more testing with people around, obviously, and get my final. Noise cancellation. It's heavy traffic right now. If you've probably seen my past few videos, there's a lot of roadworks and there are flaggers on both ends releasing traffic. Right now it's quiet, but as I've been talking, you've probably seen some reflection of cars passing through. This has been dead silent. I want to see if this is actually the same as the Q45, if it's slightly upgraded, or they just, since here comes a big truck. I can't hear anything. I have some windows open around the house, so supposedly, I hope it picks up on the mic, but I can't hear anything here. Oh my goodness. This is awesome. I think I'm talking a little bit too loud for my mic with noise cancellation on, so I'm going to turn that off in normal. But a second ago, you can see there's HearID testing. So if you click that, by the way, when you start the ear canal test, it will, try to optimize the seal or optimize the noise cancellation based on your ear, what's coming in. So when you do the test, you have to make sure that it is properly fitting and then it's loud enough. So in this case, if I keep talking, it will supposedly complete the test, and it's running pretty fast, as you can see. Supposedly it's done. Is it? They don't say success or anything. It just has a grayed out test button, no way to go back, or it says you're done. So I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, you have to go back. So that's something I've noticed in the past with HearID. On the last screen, Soundcore, can you do some kind of like completion status so we know it's done? Let's check out sound effects, and let me turn off noise cancellation so I'm not speaking too loud again. Oh, I just noticed something. Transparency, normal. This thing is fast, guys. Whatever the chipset is, this is awesome. There is no tone though. I notice usually Soundcore has a bing, 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 or a vocal transparency or whatever. But they don't say anything. Let me go look at prompt tone. There's nothing. There's just whirring tone. Maybe Soundcore, can you add that? Because you're expecting people to just hear the difference between the three modes. It is pretty significantly different, but I would like a tone, especially in a noisy environment with music or audio media playing. You can't tell sometimes. So it'd be nice to have a feedback tone. But let me keep it in normal. Oh, and transparency. Let me see if this makes a difference with that low bass voice that I'm hearing, the echo when, transparency is on. So we're in vocal mode, fully transparent. I can hear my breathing very strongly. There's still that bass, but this is better. I prefer this one, the fully transparent. It's not bad. It's pretty good. So back to sound effects. The EQ 8-band. Thank you very much, Soundcore. Plenty to play with. Default. We have tons of presets as well. Super awesome to see. And HearID sound is where you test the ear canal again, and then it, just adjusts the EQ based on your hearing. Spatial effects. Now this could be confusing because how do new people know whether this is just an artificial spatial? Like, do you need to have a proper 360 file, support a compatible file or a service like Apple or Spotify or whatever to use the 360, or does this artificially create it? There's no information button. Usually they have a pretty good help system, but there's nothing here. Music, video, head tracking. So I'm gonna play media later on and see if this kind of works or not. High-res audio. Oh, okay. This is where they were saying about earlier. I was mentioning update the firmware. I haven't been pushed. It hasn't been pushed to my device, so I can't get to do LDAC this time, unfortunately. Sorry, guys. But it'll definitely be in my final review. Okay, so let's go back to, let's look at controls. How customizable is this? Single, double, triple press. Very nice. And then, of course, you can granularly control or modify each press or whatever to a specific function. Thank goodness. Very nice. Ambient sound on. You can turn it off altogether if you don't like accidental buttons. Okay, Soundcore Wellness. This one real quick before we end is, I think this is where the heart rate sensor comes in. I am male, I hope so. And then what is your birthday? You guys can, it's 1976 in case you're wondering. Is this a month or year? A month. So I'm turning 46 in November. And what's my weight? 70 kilograms. Oh, I'm 150 millimeters. That's short. Centimeters. So here you can test out your dust stress as well as heart rate, your weekly activity. So my guess is once you start working out with these or wearing these, walking or around the house, you will start tracking it. It's not obviously going to be a full day 24/7 like your smartwatch will, so you can't track you to sleep or whatever. So you know, everyone has their own usage on this. I don't think I'll use it much, but it's nice to have, I guess. Now, next one, let's play some music. I'm gonna turn on active noise cancellation and then compare the sound quality between all of it. I have some files ready to go. Right here, I have a binaural audio from Max Cooper. Let's play this and then see how that goes. Let's volume. Oh, you know what? I can't hear it because I have it on silent. It would have been nice to have LDAC because I'm running this FLAC file for my NAS. But as it is, guys, ooh, hold on, let me run up the bass. I'm at 75-80% right now. Oh. Okay, there's one song. Let me do Doomsday real quick and see sub bass.
Pull the plug in September.
Wow. Okay, let me do a quick one. Just the beginning of this Doomsday song always is a good test. The sub bass intro as it ramps up, and then immediately you have the guitar strum, and then Lizzie McAlpine's voice, her raspy, deep voice. Oh, this. I think there's a shallow V profile as well, even though Liberties tend to like say, oh, we're pretty neutral. It's a shallow V, but it is nice. Whatever they're doing with the drivers here, it is so clean and crisp. It is good. The bass doesn't hit low, unfortunately, with the sub bass part, like right here in your chest. But it is nice, guys. Overall, let me keep listening. Oh. This is clean. I have to listen to the Liberty 3 Pros, Liberty 2 Pros actually. These were my favorite between these two. I preferred the older version. It has a much cleaner sound. I'm gonna compare the two and see how that is. But these, I listened to this about a couple of days ago, and these actually might sound better. Oh, now amplification. Let's see how loud these get. Woo! I can't hear anything. I can't hear myself. Okay, so that gets loud. It's nice. So for you who like to crank up your, please don't. 100% volume. Come on, you're gonna hurt your ears. Let me go back to. So this song by Max Cooper is binaural, and it does a lot of throwing around in 3D. Okay, since this song is running, let's go to spatial audio or sound effects, and then go to spatial effects. Hit tracking. It's moving there. I think it's doing it artificially, guys. It actually is. There's one particular instrument that's always at the front. If I turn my head to the left or right, it's still playing at the front. Is it? Not so much on the right. It could just be me. It just could be a placebo effect here. I have to test this some more. Let me try another song. Let's go. La vida es un carnival. Now hit tracking is still on. I wonder if you can. So I think there might be some calibration needed. It's always pushing to my left ear, even though here is centralized. So because when I turn my head left, it is staying right here. But then when I face front, it's on my right, on my left. And then if I face here, oh, it's working now. Now it's going back that way. So it's not perfect, is what I can tell. I think I'm speaking too loud again. But it's not perfect. It does take some time to catch up. So I wonder how, so it works artificially, but I'm not sure if how these will sound with a proper 360. I am curious. I have this video on Sony's website, and I'll see if this actually does. Let's try to forward this.
Kaleidoscope wheeling and flying.
Okay. Oh. I'm just playing this test file, supposedly 360 on Sony's website. let me pause here for a second and talk about spatial audio real quick. So as we've gone through this unboxing, I've wondered if this function works only with 360 compatible media or files or services, or is it artificially applied by the Soundcore app itself? And I think it's the former. Not having proper 360 RA files to test, I think it is running through, processing through the Soundcore app, which also explains why it has a delay. And this is something, Soundcore, I'm talking to you, maybe you can improve this with firmware, is have some kind of calibration ability for us to figure out, for it to figure out whether this gyro is working right. Because right now it's kind of slow in tracking my head. When I compare this with the XM5 and played a 360 file, that thing was like, man, wherever your head, just even half a degree, you could feel it. This one, you can feel there's a delay because it's running through the app, running through, processing from the file, running through the app and then through the earbuds. There's always going to be some delay, but I think it can be improved and optimized a little bit more. So that's what I have to say about spatial audio. It's a good first try, and probably if we have 360 audio files to test, proper ones, I want to see if these can be run off, with it turned off, and it has it built in and ready to go, or does it still run off this algorithm? So we'll see. Sound quality, I'm gonna say it again, it's clean, guys. There's a shallow V. Just when I thought it couldn't get better than some of their latest or some of their best ones out there, this one comes along and like, wow, this is nice, super clean. Comfort, I've worn this for an hour and a half now and it's still nice. It's super light in the ears. Speaking of which, let's test controls. I don't think these are touch, because I've been touching this the whole time and not heard a bung or response or just an accidental tap. I think earlier when we were looking at the close-ups of the earbuds, I was wondering what that slat was. I think that's a button. Yes, it is. You have to squeeze the stem. And it's fast. Oh my goodness, it's fast, guys. It's like an AirPod. The AirPods Pro, you squeeze the stem and it works, right? And this is awesome. I've always loved buttons, and this is a nice compromise. It's not a membrane. It's just a little. It's not an actual button either. It's just the whole panel moves around. I think it was IPX4 water resistance. So for what it's worth, now that I remember, I haven't mentioned that yet. Man, this button is nice. So if you're running around in a gym, there's nothing better or easier than holding onto the stem and squeezing it. It's awesome. I like it. What else? I think that might be it. I've gone through music, quality, comfort, some of the big stuff. These things are impressive so far. I'm gonna do my final review. Of course, once all the excitement has died down, I'm gonna look at this objectively and just give you my final results. So come back for that then. And thank you so much for watching this. I know it looks like I'm just like messing my way through this, and this is an unboxing. It's fun to do. It's first impressions. You get to see my face, how I feel about it live, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. So thank you for being here, guys. You could have been doing something else today, right now, watching another video, but the fact that you're here, thank you so much. Remember to thumbs up if you like this video, subscribe to this channel, mash and kill the button down below, get me to 50,000 subs. I'm quite far behind, so share it with your friends and family who you think might be interested in tech videos. Visit me on Patreon, as well as use the super thanks button if you like to donate something, buy me a cup of coffee, whatever you like. And remember to do something loving and kind for somebody in this world, guys, because guess what? The world needs it more than ever, and it starts with you. I love you all very much. See y'all the next time. Whoosh.